red state.
Flyover country.
Yeah.
Flyover.
We don't matter.
We don't?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I
to
think-
us, we did
I
matter.
was gonna say you two matter. You two matter to me.
Thank you.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the country.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
See, I'm like the East Coast and West Coast. They don't matter to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny when you meet people that have moved here, for that purpose, basically.
There's a lot more people now that has moved from the coast than there used to be.
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
Our schools get them all the time.
Yeah, I work with several. Moved from California, Illinois.
New York.
Yeah, close to big cities.
Mhm.
Yeah, they moved here.
Yep.
It's interesting.
I'm like, how'd you pick Owasso, Oklahoma?
Yeah, Collinsville.
Yeah.
Yeah. One's in Collinsville,
Mhm.
actually, and one's moved from Idaho. Actually, moved here, and
Really? That's kind of the
it's still.
kind of the same, isn't it? Idaho.
He said
and
they were.
here.
I guess I forget what he basically explained. It was.
A little more populated here than Idaho.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Idaho's pretty sparse, man.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, very sparse.
A lot of land.
We're
lot of
pretty
mountains.
rural too, though. We're just close to. Like you can get
Yeah,
to
we're
KC or Dallas or.
you get out in western Oklahoma, western Kansas. There's nobody.
But even just thinking, like, I was talking to a guy whose kids started football, and I can't remember where he said he lives, but the kids' district is like, it can be a 4-hour drive to play football.
Wow.
And it's here in Oklahoma, and I was thinking, good gosh. Like,
Yep.
in Texas, they probably do get that out in West Texas, but it's just sparse here,
Yeah.
So,
Rejoice has that issue a little bit. Not 4 hours, but I think there's
Private
hour and a
school.
half, 2 hours, because you got to go to the smaller districts. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
2A.
That's a whip.
There's some halls.
Well, how you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah?
Man.
Doing all right.
Yeah?
I was daydreaming there for a second, but yeah, I'm doing all right.
Just
Brain
spacing
fart?
out
I
a
was
little
just
bit.
like staring at your wall over there. Like, I don't know what I was thinking about.
I don't blame you. Ain't a lot of wall space in here. There's my cowboy hat over there. See that?
I'm ready for fall, that's for sure, though. I know, yeah, nice cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Fall's the best
Still
time of
dusty.
year.
Fall is the best time of year,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
What?
I like summer.
No, it's too
I love
hot.
summer.
I don't
I
work.
mean, I like it, but it's.
No, yeah,
I
you
don't
don't-
love
you don't have
summer.
a job
I
in
don't
the
have a
summer.
job in the summer.
It's too hot though.
I love summer. I do like the heat, but there's nothing like the fall. But actually, my favorite is when it gets cool at night, but still gets like close to 80 during the day. That's
Yeah,
what I like.
yeah.
That's what I like. We get like what, a week of that? It's
Yeah. Week in the spring, week in the fall.
yeah. It's like
Then it's
it goes
over.
straight to windy cold or right to hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I
Dadgummit.
like all the seasons. I think it's nice. just
We
to
don't
change.
get that much seasons here though.
What seasons do we not get?
I mean, it doesn't like fall doesn't
Does it
last
snow
long.
here? It snows here.
Yeah, that's
Flurry is
fair.
perfect amount, right?
It's
But
probably
it could be
most years.
70 in the winter too here. Which
That's
is kinda
great.
cool.
I don't
Yeah.
like that.
you don't like that.
I do.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's a nice break
We
from the
need,
cold.
we need some coldness to kill the bugs and the.
I like to be outside though.
I don't like the cold, man.
You're from Texas, so yeah. You don't like to be outside?
I like to be outside.
yeah.
That's why I don't like it cold all the time.
Yeah, I don't like it
No,
cold.
when it
either.
gets like 0, I mean that's pretty cold.
Yeah, I mean
That's
cold
too
for a
cold
little
to be
bit's
outside.
fine, but I like those 70-degree breaks in the winter.
Yeah.
Mm.
Get
Yeah.
outside, throw the baseball around a
Yeah,
little
Christmas
bit. Little
time when
basketball.
it's like nice outside, you can play with.
I'd say
Play with
40,
your toys.
40
Yeah.
and up. 40 and up, you can go outside pretty easily.
Yeah, you have this
Depending
theory.
on the wind. Depending on the
Yeah.
wind.
It's always
in
windy
the
here.
sunshine. Right.
Mm.
It's always windy.
50's ideal.
The wind's what gets you.
Yeah, the wind gets
Not
you.
the heat, it's the humidity.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's the wind.
All right. Well, we've had a couple of a good podcasts. The last one we talked a little bit political driven, and it kind of feeds into what I want to talk about today, but it's just something that's been on my mind lately is fear. You guys fear anything?
Oh yeah.
What?
I think.
What do you fear?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of fear, right? You
Yeah.
hear something on the news, somebody gets ran over, your family gets something
Okay,
with
yeah.
them,
Yeah.
your job, financial. I mean, there can be
Yeah, there's tons,
everybody has
right?
some kind of fears or something.
I was thinking about this. Do you think we operate and are driven more by fear than anything?
Maybe maybe occasionally. I mean, for myself, but I don't feel like I get caught up in it like daily or anything like that. If I see
No, not
something
daily. I just think, do you think there's, and I don't mean like a fear like you're running scared. I mean, like, do you think there's something constantly, almost always driving you that is fear, like saving for retirement? And like, is everything driven more by fear than it is like hopeful outlook?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I was just
I'm not
thinking
really
about it.
scared of much right now, so I'm like kind of blindsided. Fear? Like I'm not
Fear.
I'm not scared of retirement. I'm looking forward to it.
No, I know. I'm saying
making
like,
sure you
well,
have
like,
enough
to your point of like when you hear
That's
the
where you got
negative on the news,
Yep.
do
Yeah.
Does that drive you to do something different, and it's more driven out of the fear of it happening? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it could.
No, this isn't really what, brother. I was talking to a guy. We were talking through the election cycle, and we believe some intense things might come. I don't really think about it much, and I'm not necessarily fearful of what's going to happen, but it is kind of funny. So we actually out of the blue got a text from someone, Bethany did, that said that we should take all our money out of the banks because the banks might collapse.
I've been saying that for how many years?
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, A, how much money do you think I have? That was one. That was number one.
B, it has happened before.
Number
Go
two,
ahead.
yeah, it has happened before. And number three, like if I'd be like Buzz from Home Alone, one, B, and I forget what he says. But yeah, it's like A, 2, and D. I think is what he says. But and then the last is like the last thing is like, well, if like the dollar crashes, then what good will it do, right? We just burn that stuff.
Yeah, but you have
So,
no
anyway.
control.
Right.
If the dollar's going to crash. And I think you were talking about fear, so I think I'm pretty informed. So I don't worry about it. Like I know what's going to happen if someone wins or with
Oh,
this. Like
so you think
I'm
the
not-
knowledge
I'm
and
not- yeah, I'm
being
not
informed helps you
scared? Like I'm prepared.
prepare? Okay.
So
okay,
if
that's
somebody gets elected, then yes, I have my food storage. That
You
I
do?
can use. I haven't.
How long will it last?
Starting. Not
but
not
but
forever.
you don't. So like, can I
Month?
ask that? Is that not?
That's my goal is to get like a month.
Is that not driven by some fear of what might happen?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I
That's
guess
just
it's
kind of
a
what I was
fear.
thinking about.
Yeah,
you have a bunker
I'm
yet?
scared. No.
I mean, don't get me
Like,
wrong. I've got.
Okay, 4 years ago we had COVID, and you guys all went to the grocery store. There wasn't stuff there. on
Yeah,
the
no,
shelves.
I think that did help
Right?
me make.
Oh, there's
paper?
enough to eat.
Not much.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was silly to an
but
extent.
people, that's what I'm saying. People can go crazy over this.
It's more of
stupidest
our
thing.
Yeah.
it's more of our reliance on the system, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, like I have some food storage. I've got some
I'm
nice
not crazy
containers,
about it, but I
and
have two I have a
rice,
fourth and-
beans, lentils,
I have a fourth and fifth grader. You know, if it's just Kaylin, I wouldn't worry about it as much. But you have
freeze dried
kids, you want them to
food.
be
I got
on
some of that.
toilet paper,
Yeah, toilet paper. I
a few
mean,
medicines.
I mean,
You got bed
just buy-
sheets, man.
Yeah, you got water, man. Just turn it into a bidet.
You
I
might
mean, you
not
don't need
have,
toilet
You
paper.
might not have water.
Okay, well then you just act like your dog and just
mean, I will.
Scoot on
'cause
the
I-
ground.
scoot on the ground.
I have a well. But go ahead.
I don't have a well. That's awesome. Guess whose house I'm going to?
I just gotta get to my place up in Kansas. No address.
So that's the thing though, is like
like,
if
always
it,
gotta keep
I
gas
think if
on
it
tap.
really goes down, you won't. I would assume that we wouldn't be able to drive.
That's why you never let your gas tank get below half a tank.
No, I know that. I'm talking about. I probably go even a little further, like EMP kind of situation.
You believe that's gonna happen?
I think it's probably the most realistic
Well,
thing.
see, then I have a 1966 Mustang.
Okay,
that won't
okay.
be affected by that.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have that.
Mm,
Yeah,
see?
put a Faraday cage around everything. My garage, but was it the film, the
Yeah.
block, all that. Anyway, yeah,
You're
I
gonna
just
paint your roof blue so it doesn't get burned down too.
I did. Yeah, what is that? I don't know
You
this.
never heard?
one.
You haven't heard about that?
No.
No,
The Hawaii.
no.
That's a big conspiracy thing.
What?
The blue, everything blue. The big fire in
In Maui?
Maui. Anything that was blue, the cars, the umbrellas, the roofs, didn't get burned.
What?
You didn't know about it's?
Was this like lamb's blood in the Passover? What's happening
Uh-huh.
here?
Just saying.
That's interesting.
Supposedly,
Never
it was-
heard that one.
supposedly it was started by lasers.
Lasers.
You guys need to get into
Nah,
that.
I haven't heard any of that either.
I don't know. Is it a movie? Because that
Well,
sounds
because
awesome.
you're watching Fox News, you need to get into the a little bit deeper.
A little
I
deeper.
don't know what the other news outlet is, I guess.
I'll share it off air.
So there's a big difference in
Just kidding.
fear, though, right?
But
So
that was yeah.
I think I have a fear of snakes. I do not like them. They're
Yeah.
super disgusting. I think
All
it's,
snakes.
yep,
All snakes for me too.
all snakes.
I'm working on it because we have quite a few in our yard.
Oh,
So if
Let me get a
they're
cat.
like a black snake or like a healthy snake that eats, you
Yeah.
know,
There are good
grass,
snakes, right?
I've
Nope.
tried to. No, I killed a copper. What's a cottonmouth?
that's a water moccasin.
Yeah, I've killed one of those in our yard. That was kind of.
You have a pond over there?
No, but it
Around
was,
you?
we have like a. Well, there's one back up in
Like
there.
a
but it was
runoff
so
creek?
dry. It's a couple summers ago. So dry, so it was looking for water.
Mm.
And our neighbors at the time that lived there were an older couple, and they kind of let some stuff grow up, and like a little dry creek bed thing. Then the new neighbors mowed, and then like that's where it came from.
Mm.
But that was a little scary that that's out there, and I have kids and a dog and stuff. But
Yeah,
that
fear.
one got killed.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
chop
I
off.
don't usually ask
big
questions
too,
on the
man.
snake. I'm not a fan. I
Ugh.
don't like them.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny though, because I can get a little. I love the outdoors, and so if people have messed with me, like run a stick up back my leg or something, and I will
Oh,
act like a
That's
I will
just
act
cruel.
like a I'll act like whatever, a ninny. And then I've had, even at work, someone put one in my desk, and I open the drawer,
No,
and it's a fake snake, but there's something, it makes me, so that's funny fear. I do think.
Tie one with a string to your leg, like when you get up.
Oh
it's
my
following
gosh.
you around.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's, well, my kids know it.
Yeah, like a spook house.
Yeah,
Halloween
spook house.
spook
I don't
house.
like that kind of fear. I'm out.
You probably do spook houses, don't you?
I used to. I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't done them in a long time.
You and your
I could go in
movies.
there.
I watched. Yeah, I did have.
This is my childhood.
Well, we did that. We
He
did
hugs
that
them.
yesterday. I saw.
Dad, is that you?
Are you afraid of the dark? Did you guys ever used to watch that as a kid?
No,
dude.
man, I
It
did
was
not
on-
do that.
It was on Nickelodeon.
No, I didn't. Well, we've had this conversation. I didn't have cable.
I didn't watch Nickelodeon.
So I
But I did
found it
not
on.
watch
It
scary
was on
stuff, man.
Amazon Prime. So
You
I
watch
had
it with your
my-
kids?
Yeah, I watched it when
your
I was a
poor
kid.
kids.
Does anyone in your house sleep?
Yeah, they sleep great.
I don't like fear like that, man. That's
You
It's
have
a
nothing-
kid show.
I think it's demonic.
I don't know what it even is.
I don't know it either.
But
but I
some
don't-
of those other movies you
I do not like. I do not like.
I don't watch. I don't like the scary if it is like a demonic movie.
No
I
horror
don't
movies.
get
So
any
I
of that.
like I was gonna say, I think there's ranges of fear here, right?
Yeah.
So we have some can be funny, and even like afraid to get up in front of people, heights. There's all kinds of fears in
I'm
our
afraid
life.
of heights. And let's go back. I
Are you
didn't
really?
used to be, but now I'm like terrified of heights.
Asher is.
Like a roller coaster. Oh, I will.
My son is, and we
I can't do
we
it.
were at this ropes course thing, and I thought he was just being a. I was like, "You're fine," and he started crying, and I felt awful. It was the worst moment of my fatherhood. I was like,
last
"Oh, I'm
weekend.
sorry, son."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
Well, really was it?
7, no,
Oh.
he was like, I don't know, maybe 10, 11.
But I didn't
something
used
like
to be scared of heights, but now, yeah, I'm like,
that. Yeah,
mm-mm.
like flying.
I hate flying.
Okay,
Sorry.
My height thing is different. Like I don't like be high on a ladder or something, but like
Yeah.
obviously flying,
Like on a
roller
roof.
coasters.
I
Yeah,
don't like being on a roof.
Yeah, me
It's
neither.
annoying.
I'm just scared of flying. That's not just heights. That's just
So
the
okay,
whole-
so like fear of flying, and
Dude,
these
I
are
mean,
like legit things that can
my
really.
life is not in my hands when I'm flying.
Yeah, these things
So I'm
can like really grip.
yours.
They
It
can really
is.
grip you, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of getting at. Is that I think it's like fear of the unknown, fear of things we can't control.
Mhm.
Fear of future. I mean, I feel like fear is just a massive part of our lives,
huge.
and even talking about work things and family things, like are my kids gonna come to know Christ? Are they gonna,
Yeah.
are they? And so I think
Worry. I worry a lot.
yeah, this fear, right?
Yeah,
I
What
think,
did,
Same
what did
thing.
FDR say about fear? The old president.
yeah, I know. Thank you. Yeah, I know who FDR is. I appreciate it though.
Yeah, you never know. Some of our listeners. He's a Democrat, by the way, so I'm giving props to Democrat.
Yeah, I don't think they always were this bad.
No,
Yeah, well,
What did he say? I don't know.
the only thing
Fear is
was-
fear itself.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he stands up out of his wheelchair. So
Gosh. Yeah, which they try to hide.
yeah, that was in the
Okay.
movie Pearl Harbor or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I
That
think
was
it.
not
yeah, I think
actually, but yeah, it's
World
like
War II president. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was it's just been weighing on me a bit. Just thinking about, man, does fear drive most of our life? Does it make us want to compete? Does it make us want to achieve more money? Does it make us want to, fit in? Does it make us, I don't. It's a very interesting thought, and it's unfortunate because I do believe as a Christian that I should have faith and my I don't know how you put that, but I should just be okay with the present and future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not always, and so it just kind of bothered me. So I just want to talk to you guys about that. I probably should have asked you
Yeah.
your top 3 fears, but I didn't. So like I would say for just a goofiness here, snakes are got to be in my top 3. I do not like those things, man. I would rather be high up. I don't want to jump out of an airplane or anything, but when I say fears that are around me and could be around, I like being outside, riding mountain bikes, turkey hunt, all the things. There's snakes there. Like there are. You can hear me on a mountain bike trail and you see them often. You're like, oh, that's me. I'm just like, oh gosh.
who's the little girl
yeah.
screaming?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was
Who brought
Bethany.
the 6-year-old?
That was Bethany. Yeah. And so like
Bears.
That's,
If I saw a bear in the wild, a grizzly bear. Well, there's some saying about a grizzly bear and a polar bear. Like,
they will eat your face.
Yeah, a polar bear was going to
black
kill
bear
you no
will
matter
run
what.
away, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, unless like
Bears.
cubs
Ooh.
are involved and
Yeah.
things like that. But
Nah.
Yeah, so
I
there's-
could take that bear.
so
on.
there's they do look cuddly kind of. They get up to like 300 pounds, man.
I could take that.
Okay. All right. But there are some like I don't enjoy the ocean, the depth of the ocean and the creatures in the ocean. I don't mind going to the beach and hanging out.
Do you want to swim in the ocean?
But yeah, I swim. I'm saying like the idea of being out in the middle of the ocean is like
See,
it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Now, that's a technical term, by the way. But I also would not probably. don't have to put myself in that position,
Yeah.
right? And so I don't know if I consider that like it's kind of irrational a bit because I'm not going to ever probably be out in the middle of the ocean.
So you're never going to be
Yep.
a big scuba diver out in the middle of the
That's
ocean.
correct. It
Yeah.
seems very foolish to me.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it just seems like a dumb thing to
Just go
do.
in the cold water. There's nothing.
I
in
don't.
cold
I
water.
think if you've seen the orcas, I think they're like
Oh,
apex.
yeah, never mind.
Apex.
Remember
man.
the
Yeah,
fish?
they'll
Remember
kill
the
you.
fish that we showed you?
Yeah,
Remember
But
that
that's
one
not gonna
time?
Football
hurt. That's not
fish.
gonna hurt you.
A very poorly named fish.
But yeah,
a football
orca.
fish.
I'd be scared of an orca.
Yeah, you
they're
should
the
be.
meanest.
Apex.
And, oh my!
I think they're
goodness.
apex in the ocean.
They kill anything. I think they kill their own.
They kill their own. They
Yeah.
kill sharks.
Yeah.
They are.
There was, I think there was the orcas were up there when I was
Yeah.
in Washington.
There's like a
in that
gang of
area.
them. You've heard of
Yeah.
them, like the LA6 or something. I'm not kidding. Look this up.
What?
They got bandanas on and everything. This is an irrational fear though, because they can't walk on land, so we're okay.
So I can't go
We're okay.
into the Pacific, I guess.
Yeah. The LA6 or something like that. I can't remember. There is like a name of this group of orcas that like they've followed them and they've watched them like get a shark in a position it can't swim, like upside, I don't know, and then
And they
just
hit them.
it kill it. Yeah.
Yeah, they hit them. They hit
Freaking
'em out of the
giant
water.
great white, man, which you
Yeah.
think would be
No, it's
top
gonna change.
dog,
Mhm.
but not top dog.
They hit like the seals like out of the water. Then the seals are like
Yeah. I've seen those
momentarily
videos.
paralyzed. And I'm like, holy cow!
Yep.
Yeah.
What,
Anyway.
what are you invented for?
So that's yeah, so that's scary stuff, right?
What about your kids driving? Because you have kids getting
Yeah,
ready to
no,
drive. Is that scary?
100%.
Because we've been thinking about that. Our kids are about 5 years away. I'm like, all right, I need
Yeah.
to save up and get a
Well,
really
that was
nice,
my next thing is-
safe car.
Yeah, that's the next thing is like you start talking like you talked about the news, you watch it and you're like, man, a girl was kidnapped walking home from school or whatever, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, my daughter will ride the bus home and she has to walk a block to the house, and you're just like, are you home yet?
Mhm.
That I do think a lot of that is it. We should be aware, we should be prepared. I think that's very smart, but I also think we have irrational fear, and I think it's often because we can't control it and we don't have the faith that we should, right? And so I think that was really my point. Is I just been thinking about a lot. There's a lot that's driving, even in our life, to not take the kids driving and going off to be adults and all those things, as they start to get older. But man, even just like, will they find a good church? Will they get sucked
Yep.
into the wrong thing? Will they?
Marry a Christian spouse.
Yeah, will they marry Christian? Yeah, there's all kinds of things, and man, really the only option there is prayer. But go ahead.
So you have older kids than we do.
Mm-hmm.
We have kids basically our kids age 2. So does it get easier, or does fear get easier or worse as they're getting close to adulthood?
I think it probably changes a bit. I think as you start to like loosen up control because they are having to go, like Asher goes and takes most of the class he takes right now are the junior college in downtown Tulsa.
TCC, yeah.
Yeah, TCC. So like he goes to high school for a class and then he drives to downtown Tulsa every day. And he goes to class. And 17 years old, junior in high school.
Yeah.
He's a great kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good kid. He's doing fine. But like some of that, you just kind of, I go about my day. I don't worry about it. Like because you can't. And then I think that's gonna be, I think you just get accustomed to it a little bit. But I think the fear will change for each, right?
And boys and girls.
Yeah, boys and girls for sure. But then also like their personality and how willing they are to take risk. And you know,
my two are completely different. Like I have different fears for one than I do the other.
Yeah, 100%.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
And,
same here. So I think it changes a bit, and I think that like the most of the fear I have, and we've talked about this a ton, is that they'll fall into like even the prosperity movement, to where their fulfillment comes from, or they think they can control their happiness. Like all those types of things is some of the things that, and all I can do is disciple, and pray, right? And that's really all I can do. And the rest, and the deal is they're God's, they're not mine. And so I think that's a big part of this is just trusting that.
And a lot of people miss that, what you just
For
said.
For
that
sure.
They're God's, not ours. And that's a hard concept for us too.
Yep.
You know.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
And we only have them for a short amount of time. You see those videos like, by the time they're 12, you've already spent 70% of the time with them. And the time they're 18, I'm like, oh my goodness, that goes by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It was just something that weighed on me this last. You guys know I've been pretty busy with work and just thinking through some of the things going on there, and then, like this kind of even just health stuff, right? Like there was a lady that had just like this situation at work where she's in great shape. But her chest started hurting real bad. So she went to the doctor, went to the emergency room, and they checked her out. They sent her home. They said, "Nah, you're good. Just heartburn, something, whatever." And then she just didn't feel right. Went back, and then they did say, "Okay, let's keep you overnight. We'll do the heart cath thing tomorrow. We'll check it out." Almost like crazy amount of blockage on the big artery, and she ended up having open heart surgery the next day, and like a triple bypass. And I think she's like in her late 40s and really good shape, and it's just hereditary kind of stuff. But then like you internalize that a bit. Like you hear this story and you're like, oh my gosh, and I'm out of shape. I don't sleep well. Like you go down the list and you're like, geez. Like I think my chest hurts,
Yeah.
But that's just fear. It's just fear, right? And I
You got to be self-aware too. Like me.
yeah,
like
of course. You got to be self-aware.
When get your blood work done, at the doctor, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Put it off for the last 7 years. It's time to get it going.
Work
like
makes us do it.
Yeah, like
hey,
it's-
looks like you
it's
need to lose a little weight. Thank you. Thank you,
Like,
doctor. I'm glad I'm
yeah.
paying you
Yeah.
for
And
this.
then, by the way, doctors, your scales are always heavy.
I always have
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in my pockets. I tell them that, and they don't listen.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I should have wore flip-flops today.
I got a bunch of lead in my pockets, guys. Yeah.
Can you take your foot off the back of it, please?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it just seems like almost everywhere I turned, as I started thinking through fear, I'm driven by it. I just being honest. I
Yep.
think I'm not saying to great degrees, but it just is something I wanted to.
Yeah, maybe you don't think about it as much, but yeah, and when you really break it down, you can see how fear does drive you a lot in
Yeah.
different areas.
Yeah, I mean, I think even just there's some desire to fit in. I think that's kind of a fear too. But why? Why do I need that? Why do the judgment of man should not bother me?
Yeah, I'm kind of past that point in my
No, I
life.
know.
Well,
did-
because you're
like-
not made to be alone, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
made
but
for
I'm
socialization
still
and-
talking about even a level of that though that is a little different, and it is silliness. But yeah, I say anyway. So that was really just I wanted to talk about it, and something that had been on my mind. Maybe something to help you guys think, and maybe honestly really think in terms of like, man, I am being driven by fear here. I need to look to God. I need to pray. I need to look to the hope that I have in Him, and understand that we're living in His kingdom now, as Christians, and so our focus should be on those things and even sharing Him, right? And so, and I know Anthony talked about that a little bit in one of our previous podcasts, and one of the other things that really kind of made me think about this was the election cycle and how everybody is super intense about this one for sure. And I think we're at that point and never going to go back, right? And so it's everybody's divided, and then what's going to happen after the election, which whoever wins, and the economy, and just man, there's just so many outside factors that can just ramp that. And honestly, our culture drives fear.
Yeah.
It's what makes money. It's what it's everything. So
that's all worse, I would say, in the last 20 years.
100%.
I mean, I don't know. I'm 40, but like, I don't remember the elections. My parents getting all worked up if Reagan's getting elected or Bush or whatever, like Clinton. But now it's just it's gotten pretty out of hand.
Or they just hit it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember hearing anything
But-
either, but
But they all work
I think it's
together.
more. I think
gotten
it's just
worse.
this right here, man.
Social
It's just
media.
right there. Knowledge is burden. We've talked about that a ton. And the knowledge we have now drives this hysteria a bit. So, well, here I'll wrap up with some verses that maybe you guys can lean into. But Psalm 34 is from David, and it is just a little bit here is when he changed his behavior before Abimelech. So they drove him out, and he went away. And so this is David writing this after that. And so 34:4 in Psalm, I sought the Lord, and He answered me and delivered me from all my fears. So I prayed and confessed fears, and He delivered me from those. It doesn't mean those things are removed from our world or our life, but it probably is just more the understanding that we are God's, right?
Yep.
So there's that one is short, and then I think we all know the famous. I say famous, like it's a pretty. I think
Well
you guys,
known.
well known. You guys are gonna know this in Matthew 6. Let's make sure I get to the right
The
spot.
old red letters. There.
The red letters, Jesus' words. Yeah, they're harder to read.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're a little lighter.
I'm gonna get you a big print Bible.
Yeah, so this is Matthew 6, verse 25, and I think I'll go a little ways just to get this, but this is Jesus' words to do not be anxious. So therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds
Mm-hmm.
them.
Good pause.
Yeah, good pause. Page turn, pause. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you, by doing anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field and how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first his kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. So verse 34, therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if anything, maybe that gives you a little peace. I mean, we've all heard that one multiple times, that whole little stretch there, but a great one to come back to, and probably one that we should have plastered in our kids' rooms, and we read every day and pray through that. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
Good.
You guys
Yep,
got
good
anything
stuff.
else?
Nope, covered it.
All right. Appreciate y'all. We'll
Yep.
talk later.
See ya.
See ya.
Adios.